Hello and welcome to Made for Time. I'm Tina Service, founder and president of Made for Time Professional House Cleaning Company in Rochester, New York. Today I want to talk to you about hoarders and hoarding property. There are between 3 to 5% of the American population that are hoarders. There are different types of hoarders. Some individuals hoard food. Some people are bibliomaniacs, which means that they hoard books. There are individuals that are considered scarcity hoarders. There are shopping hoarders. There are food hoarders. There are collecting hoarders. There's all different types of hoarders out there. And what I would say to you is that we are certified in hoarder property cleanup, and I have a degree in psychology. I am not a psychologist, however, I have practiced working, or I should say not practiced, but I've been working with hoarders for the past 12 years at Made for Time. It is a sensitive subject. It's an area where a lot of people don't really want to talk about the situation. There's a couple of key points that I want to address with you is that if you or a loved one have found yourself in a hoarding situation, reach out to me, talk to me. There may be some things that I can give you pointers and tips on that could help you with getting the property cleaned up as a start. You don't necessarily always need to use our services, but sometimes it is nice if you bring in a separate individual who can help with the process. So a couple of key points is that having a hoard is actually not illegal in the state of New York. However, once someone's health or well-being becomes compromised because of the hoard, then it becomes illegal. So that's one area that it becomes illegal. Another area is with animals. So if you have an individual who hoards animals, and it doesn't have to be a lot, it could be 3 animals in an environment that's extremely unhealthy, that can be considered illegal. There is also another component. So once the property starts to affect the value of other properties around it, then that becomes a situation that can be enforced by town code enforcement to get the property cleaned up. Anytime it becomes a biohazard or a contaminated area that will affect other people, then it becomes an issue legally. The other thing to really consider about hoarding property is if there were ever an emergency in that home, for example, a fire or someone maybe fell and got hurt in that house, and EMT or other public servants such as the fire department and things of that nature, if they have it to where it's not safe for them to go into the house because of the hoard, then it becomes a legal matter. Now, most of the time, your code enforcement is going to come in and ask you to clean up the property, and then if you don't within a certain amount of time, then they're probably going to start issuing some fines. We have had a couple of instances where individuals cannot get back into their home until the hoard is properly cleaned up and code enforcement has come in and made sure that it's acceptable again. Other areas that code enforcement will look at, or even adult protective services or child protective services, is if the home is in a condition where it's not a healthy environment or a safe environment for those individuals, then most of the time somebody gets involved. One area that I always like to talk about, because people don't always think about this, is that it's possible that you have an elderly relative that has, maybe they started getting dementia or something of that nature, and then something happens and they have to go in for surgery. So it's really not, the hospitals aren't going to prevent your loved one from coming home, but if there's an instance where someone finds that you just had surgery and now you're home and you're in an environment that is toxic and going to make you sick or make the individuals coming into the home sick, then they usually are going to have someone reach out to you to see what you can do to get that hoard cleaned up. So again, Made for Time is certified by IICRC for hoard property cleanups, and we certainly encourage you to reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns about your loved one or yourself, and we can help you along the process. Sometimes it can be done in a week, and sometimes it takes our clients a year or more to move past the process and get their hoard cleaned up. Thanks, and I look forward to working with you.